Okay, good morning. Uh, Lots to talk about, but we always have lots to talk about. And I get a couple of newsletters, and you get a lot of bitches and gripes. And sometimes we want to blame it on God or the next door neighbor or the guy that didn't trim his trees. Anyway, let me talk a little bit about Maui. And you can apply this, young people. If you own property, you should know what you're getting yourself into. If you're older people and you own property, a lot of times, is it in southwest Arkansas, up in Montana, Florida? You should always know why you went there. You should know the environment. You should know the requirements for staying there, and you should also maybe look about these things. The insurance companies always look about longevity. What's your earning potential? Most men max out at 55, and then they're supposed to retire at 65. But throughout history, the average guy, uh, what did the average guy used to do? I mean, technology nowadays is tough, and the only people that can understand the nowadays technology is teenagers. You know, they're all over it. Their minds pick it up. It's fresh because they don't have any foreknowledge of what they're going to learn, and then they all get together. And whatever is popular makes you feel good. Now you get a few things done. Helps you to survive, helps them to survive. But here we are in Maui. I guess all of us have been to Hawaii, not necessarily all the islands. Look, it's a lovely place to live, and my age, we used to have Hilo Hattie and Harry Owens in his band, Prince Kalua Kalua. This was way back, and TV was black and white. But the Hawaiians were a special people all to themselves, and the Haole were the basically the Mormons came there, brought the pineapples, and more or less took over the place. And then the Japanese got a little bit sore, so they went ahead and bombed the hell out of it, and that started another cycle. But look, today, when we can't depend on almost anything for sure, uh, these people are yelling and shouting because somebody shows up and wants to buy their ash-filled lot. And now everybody's butting their nose in and said, no, you can't. I'm going to make a law. You can't sell that property. Look, the insurance actuators call this an act of God. And if there's enough sinful people in Maui, I guess it could be called an act of God. But all they're doing now is investigating all the screw-ups. And what about, was it Pleasanton, California, what, a few years back? Same damn screw-ups. Why one house burned and two more down didn't burn? Act of God, I guess. But in today's world, most of you people will say, well, I'm insurance poor. You can't buy enough insurance to cover everything. But you got to use your head, and you got to talk to the old folks of what could happen. Then you should have plan A, B, and C. For young people, that's pretty hard to do because young people, when I was younger, I did talk to older people. Older people were smarter than me. They knew how to get a few things done and had a few tricks, especially if you're in the trades, you know. I was a plumber's apprentice for a while, and I didn't learn much about plumbing. But one of the plumbers, the older guy, had ulcers. But he said you could take a Tide tablet, and that would coat the stomach. and get rid of the ulcers. So you never know what old people used to come up with. I worked in the shipyards for a while. Everybody in Los Angeles Harbor, they used to have 5 shipyards and a huge lumber yard down there. You always came out of high school, you could always get a job in the shipyard doing something, you know. And you learn a lot down there too about these guys. You learn how the union works. Look, the thing is about Maui. Some people lived there permanently, perfectly happy, didn't think anything would happen. And yet, Maui, the Hawaiian Islands, are on dormant volcanoes. You can tell people that, but okay, well, I'll take my chances. And they did. The people living in Maui took their chances. Now, they're going to blame the same guy that was the police department was the same guy that was involved in the Las Vegas shootings. I don't know how in the hell that happens, but so what? The guy moved on, probably got a pay hike, and he's living in paradise again. Look, the individuals are not that sharp. Everybody thinks that the police chief is really sharp. He's been in law enforcement for years. They always tell you about police officers. Hell, you can go all over the YouTube and they got these cops that don't know shit or shinola about the Constitution, and frankly, they don't care. They want to get through, bad cop, no donut kind of thing. Not everybody is specialized in what they wind up doing. So they get away with spending 20 years and then they get out of it and technology moves on and they find out they didn't know as much, should you have a roof? I mean, what kind of a fireproofing did these homes have? Limited, probably. Who'd ever thought of a fire down there? So, as I say, could add fire insurance, earthquake insurance. California, that's a separate deal altogether. I'm sorry, but the gripe is that the Great Pretender took about a 45-minute tour, and he's going to offer, it's not his money. I don't know where the hell he's getting all this money at. But he's going to offer these families, and hell, they don't even know if these families exist anymore. $700. Is that $700 for a family, for a month and a half, or a one-time payment? Look, that's chump change. That's not even chump change, you know. Probably couldn't buy 7 bullets to blow your brains out for $700 nowadays. Look, we're going through life. It's 2023. All of the preppers, they must have 125 different kind of preppers on there, telling you what to buy, what to keep, what to barter with, what you should have, where you should live. And other generations, you know, the 1920 Depression, and just going with Cromwell and the English Civil Wars. You know, people were dying all the time, and they were the parliamentarians against the royals. Then you go over to any time in life, you know, I mean, the first caveman used to fight over something, and it was probably that berry patch that the one found, and the other guy says, "Hey, I'll take it over." Anyway, look, you're going through life, and try to use your head. I know if you're arguing with the wife and you got 2 teenagers that have pierced belly buttons and a tattoo running down their left leg, look, it's too bad you can't control that, you know. But you're going to have to think of yourself. And then if somebody likes the way you do things, and make sure that person is on board. But you have a hell of a time if you don't make plans of saving each other. So look to the future with acts of God, because the insurance companies are going to run out of money too. The insurance companies are leaving Florida. There's just too damn many hurricanes coming up through there, and they can make all the regulations they want to. Property is sky high because people can't afford to sell and try to uh, refinance. They're sitting there for 27 years with a 2% tax rate and what have you. That's not going to happen. But we've got a lot of people on the YouTube. I'm retired, so fortunately, I can spend probably half a day, 2 days, and you got some people that know the market, where they're at, what they're doing. They're telling you the truth, and basically, there's not a damn thing you can do about it. You know. So you got fight or flight. You're not going to be able to fight the government. The damn government's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're watching their ass. I mean, here's Bill Gates. Now, I don't want to pick on the man. When he was a young man, he took a chance. He's sitting out there in the garage working on these little boards. Uh, I just, but how much farmland does that SOB need? That the federal government should finally step in and say, no, you're not going to monopolize this. The whole history. Look up Teddy Roosevelt sometime and the monopolies that he busted up, and that was a part of American history that had to happen. Or the Carnegies and the Vanderbilts, everybody. Well, a couple of them did own the country, the Rockefellers, but they got out there ahead before old Joe Kennedy is the worst of them all. What a crook. And who'd they put him in charge of? Well, he told everybody, hey, we gotta make some money in this stock market until they regulate it. So I look to be having everything regulated. And here's the one provision that most of you don't have the balls to do, which I did. Well, maybe it was stupidity, but taxes. I stopped one day and I stopped paying them. And when I stopped paying them, that's when you could, I stopped paying them, and then I just didn't have a need to file a tax return. So if you file one and it's wrong, then they got you. If you don't file one, then they say, well, we're going to file one for you. I said, well, they'd call me in once in a while, and I said, well, what do you got? I didn't keep any of my records. And they said, oh, you got to keep your records. I said, no, I don't. No, I don't. Sometimes I worked for cash. I tell them that right up front, or I did. So I don't know if the government's going to come after me now, but I didn't pay any income tax for the last, now it's 70 years. Because once you'd stopped poking the dragon, he doesn't have time for you. I'm not saying I made $1 million. So they weren't interested in me. I didn't own a string of hotels like Hemsley did. I think they put her in jail, and Martha Stewart. When you're too damn big, you should be a corporation, and you have all the corporate deductions that you can find and afford. That's the way you do it. So if you're dumb and you're just going to sit there and be poor and dumb, look up trusts, corporations, and look up foundations. And you get a young attorney. Well, a young attorney is not worth crap. Get some old country attorney that knows something about a foundation and corporation, and you get all the deductions you'd ever want. You get all the entitlements that you could ever want, and you never appear to have a tax liability. Anyway, I'm sorry about the people in Maui, but they should have been insured. And the insurance company will pay off one time, take the money, and mourn your losses and move on. Otherwise, you're going to sit around there for the next 15 years and the insurance companies aren't going to do shit for you. You're going to run out of money and you'll be worse off than if you just gone ahead, cut your losses, take the money the insurance company is going to pay you, and move away. I wouldn't be on the Hawaiian Islands. You don't know what the hell's going to happen out there. Get back here to the mainland and go to somewhere where there's some like people. You can find like people on the media. That's what I'm going to say about that one subject, and that's a subject that you can change. You get your insurance that you need. When something happens, if it's flooded, you drive out that day before. Don't hang around and sit on your on your rooftop or in your attic expecting somebody to go ahead and rescue you. In these real disasters, everybody is for themselves. What are they going to do? You're lucky that the National Guard gets called back in. Most of them, they just don't show up. To say, to hell with this noise. I got to take care of my own family. That's what I'm telling you to do. And in the meantime, yes, communicate with God and tell him you're doing the best you can. You're not trying to make him too upset. And if he likes you, he'll take care of it. But the old saying that God helps those who help themselves. Now, if you've done everything you can, you go to God and say, I've done it. What do you think, sir? And then when he gives you that starry-eyed look, when the Lord rustles some papers around on his desk and he says, okay, I'm looking into it right now. Stand by. You stand by. In the meantime, get all the insurance you can or take all the provisions you can to get yourself either out of the area, take some money with you, or buy something that you can trade, barter, or better yet, get yourself into a trade that somebody will pay you to do. You got a welder and you know how to weld. You're a carpenter and you know how to carpentry. If you're a finished carpenter, you know how a cabinet maker. You can barter or make a living. Otherwise, if you're an attorney, what the hell are they going to do? That's like somebody said, the first thing we do is kill all the lawyers. Shakespeare. All right, I don't want to wear you out here, but that's what it's going to be today. Maui. What are you going to do?